Hello friends, and welcome to another video lesson from DBOS Talks. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. This is the third video of a playlist called Excel for Data Analysis. And in this video, we'll be learning how Excel handles delimited files. First, let's talk about a CSV file, a comma separated file, which is one of the files I'm featuring in the File Explorer. Okay, so CSV file, comma separated values file. In data analysis or in some other IT or even non-IT work, you may encounter such a file which is used for uploading, and eventually it may be used for loading to a database table. Okay, so a CSV is a text file which has values that are delimited or separated by commas. When open in Excel, it will display like any normal Excel file, except that no formatting can be saved. Okay, let's open a sample CSV. Okay, so I'll make this a bit smaller. This is I just called it for simplicity. I called it comma delimited file, but it is a CSV file, comma separated values file. Notice that when you open it, you may sometimes see a warning message at the top, which I see it's shown in yellow. I'm pointing at it now. So it's saying some features might be lost if you save this workbook in the comma delimited CSV. What it means is that, like I mentioned, a CSV file is technically a text file. It is devoid of any formatting that you could see or find in a Word document, Excel file. So it is a text file, meaning the values will be presented in this manner, but if you do some setting this to bold or putting a highlight on it, it is fine as long as you understand that you cannot save it as a CSV. If you want to retain such formatting, then you will have to save this as an Excel file. You see, look here. To preserve these features, save it in an Excel file format. That's what I'm saying. So it's technically a text file. Okay. So once you open a CSV file, which is actually a comma delimited file or comma separated file, then it will show nicely in Excel, but it will not be able to save. You'll not be able to save any formatting to a CSV file. It will be lost. The only things that will be retained are the values themselves. Okay, so we have opened a CSV in Excel file, and you can see. You can create a CSV file in two ways. One is from within Excel. Let's just say I will do a Control-N, and it creates a blank CSV. Let's just say you entered some values here with the intention of saving this as a CSV file. So when you do a save file, save, what you do is you will save it with the extension of CSV. If you don't see the CSV there, just look for comma separated values, and that will be CSV. That's one way of creating a CSV file. Another way of creating a CSV file is from within a text editor. So like Notepad or Notepad++, and then saving it as the CSV. Okay, so that's a CSV file. So we've seen a CSV file being opened in Excel. Now let's try opening the same. Remember that CSV is comma delimited. Now you don't see the difference between a CSV and an Excel file because we're opening it in Excel. But once I open this same file in a text editor, then you will see the difference of what really a CSV file is. So what I'll do is this. The same file, you can see, I'll do a right click and then open it using Notepad++ and see the difference. then here you can really see it is indeed a comma delimited file or a comma separated values file. That's why it's called CSV. So in Excel, CSV, I mean, Excel supports the CSV. It's a Windows format. So it's recognized and it's presented nicely according to columns and rows in a grid form in Excel. But once you open it using a text editor, a CSV file will appear like this, comma separated values. So meaning this is one cell and then a comma. This is the next cell, like next column up to here, and then a comma separating the cells. So this is another column. So it consists of 3 columns. Okay, so that is a CSV file, comma separated values file. It is an example of a delimited file. This time delimited or separated by commas. Okay, so besides CSV, there are other kinds of delimited files and delimited or separated. So let's try opening a pipe delimited file. Pipe looks like this, or you may want to call it vertical bar, but it's also called a pipe. So let's try opening a pipe delimited file. First, let's use a text editor such as Notepad++ to open a pipe delimited file. So I just call it pipe delimited. It has an extension of txt, but that doesn't matter. So let's just open it using a text editor. Now you can see that this file is pipe delimited. Each field or each value is separated by a pipe or vertical bar. So that means if you remember the looks or the formatting of the CSV you've just seen, this is the first field, and then this is a separator of the fields. And then the second field is this one cruise, and then it is separated again by a pipe. So it's a pipe delimited file. So we are seeing this. It doesn't look too readable for you because we're opening it in text editor. But once we open it in Excel, you can see how Excel is able to handle this. Okay. So let me open Excel. Close that. No, let me open like this. Pipe delimited. Open with Excel. No, what I do is this. I'll open Excel and then I'll open that file. All files, and then I come to here, pipe delimited. Okay, open. So when I open this, you see that it prompts me with this dialog, and I will click on the radio button called Delimited, and it shows a preview of the file, which is exactly somewhat the same as what we have seen when we opened it using a text editor. So you can you click on Delimited, radio button over here, and then at the bottom you click on Next, and then here it is prompting you to choose what delimiter to be used. So under delimiter section, you can see that tab is checked, but don't just proceed with that, because if you look here at your file, remember our file is pipe delimited, pipe, this vertical bar. So you don't see pipe over here, tab, semicolon, comma, space, other. What you will do is you will uncheck tab, you check on other, and then you type the actual character of this pipe, telling Excel that this is my field separator or delimiter. And you can see it real time, it showed it rendered the values in a better way, right? So you can click on next. Otherwise, if you don't have any other options in mind, you can just click on finish. And it opens the file, which is a text file, as you can remember. If you remember, it was opened in Excel with the same yellow bar warning on top, telling you that whatever formatting you do here will not be saved, like bold, italics, shade of font, background color. Those will not be saved. But as you can see, the pipe delimited file was opened in Excel, not automatically. We had to do some configure, not really configure, but specifying to Excel what delimiter was used to open this file. So you're able to open it in two ways. One is this pipe delimited file. We open in two ways. One is using a text editor, and second, using Excel itself. Okay, this is a pipe delimited file. Another example of a delimited file. The first one you've seen was a comma separator or comma delimited file. Okay, so I'll close this. The third is a tab delimited file. So here it is. I just called it tab delimited, so it's easier for you to pick up. It's saved as a text file, but I'll open it using a text editor, Notepad++. Okay, tab delimited. As you can see, the values in here are delimited or separated by a tab character. This is not space, this is tab. See, this is tab. So it looks nice, but you can see the alignment is not ideal. If you look at the numbers on the extreme right, they're not aligned. 17 is here, 34 is somewhere to the right. So that's not what we want to see, right? So what we do is we're trying to see how Excel handles another kind of delimited file, this time using a different character, the tab character as its delimiter or separator. So we've seen how the file looks when you open it using a text editor. Now we will see how we can use Excel to handle this in another way. Earlier, we've seen how to open the delimited file in Excel, not a CSV file, but the pipe delimited file. We opened it in Excel, and we specified some things there, like specifying what delimiter to be used, in that case, pipe. And Excel was able to show it correctly to us after a few steps. Here, we'll do it differently. Let's just say I have a blank sheet in Excel, a newly opened, a blank sheet in Excel. But we also want to copy this delimited file, which is actually, in this case, a tab delimited file. I want to copy and paste it to Excel. So I've selected everything, Control A, copy, Control C. I go to my Excel, and I want to paste it. Okay, so you can see it pastes properly because by default, the separations in here actually are also same as tabs. Okay, so in Excel, remember, each column is equivalent to being separated by a tab. Okay, now let's give you, so we've seen that three types of delimited files. One is the CSV, comma separated values file, which can be opened in Excel, but remember that any delimited file cannot have any formatting in them. If you do, when you save, they will not be saved in Excel because it's not an Excel file. So we've seen an Excel, and then we've seen what's that? Comma, no. The second one we did was a pipe separated file, and this one is a tab delimited file. Now let's try another way. Okay, because this, by default, like I told you, in Excel, a field is really separated like as if it's separated by tabs. It's an equivalent of that. I will show you another way. I will get the pipe delimited file, select everything and copy, and then I'll open, I'll open Excel, a blank one, and then I will paste this. You see what I did was I opened the pipe delimited file, copied everything. Remember, each field here is delimited or separated by a pipe, this vertical bar. After copying everything, I pasted it on Excel. But see, all of them are stuck or bunched together in one column. If I expand column A, you notice that everything actually is in column A, which is not what we wanted to see, right? Because we wanted to see these values nicely placed in their own separate columns. So how do we do that? To do that, we can click on the column where the values are, column A. Then I will click on data tab. And then I will click on text to columns. Now you will see something familiar, a dialog box, which we have seen earlier when we opened this file also using Excel. Okay, again, I'll do it again. So what we do is that the situation here is that after pasting a pipe delimited file, in fact, any other file delimited by some other characters, dash, a dot, if you paste it to Excel, they will all just be bunched up in one column, which is not what you wanted to see. So you will click on that column where the data is, data are, and then you click on the data tab and then text to columns, and then delimited, click on delimited, it's already clicked. And then you click on next, and then you specify what delimiter or character, separator character is being used here. In this case, we're using a pipe, which is not on the list, like I mentioned earlier. We have a tab, semicolon, comma, space, and other. Pipe is not here, vertical bar is not here. So you uncheck the tab, click on, check on the other, and then here you just type the character itself. And then you can go next, or you can just click finish. And you can see it has accomplished what you wanted it to do, which is placing the values in their own separate columns and rows, especially columns, right? So in this video, we've seen how Excel is able to handle delimited files, especially when you're doing data analysis. And even if you're not doing data analysis, it's still a useful skill or technique to learn that Excel has this capability. So we've seen 3 examples. One is how to handle a CSV file, comma separated values file, which is something native to Excel, to Windows itself. And we've seen 2 other files which are using some other character, separator or delimiter character. One is pipe delimited, the other is, what's the other one? Pipe delimited and tab delimited. Okay, so I hope we've learned something new from this video. And this is, as mentioned, part of the playlist called Excel for Data Analysis. And I hope if you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and allow this in the pipeline. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.